don't know if you know this or not, but we have a presidential candidate who's about to speak. You haven't received your John Green in '08, but Derek, I'm assuming you designed this, is that correct? Derek, what do you think? Derek is John's campaign manager. The other thing I need to do is to draw your attention to Sarah Richardson. Sarah has to sign whatever I say. So she's standing to the right of a really great-looking guy. What was that? Anyway, Sarah's a teacher out at the School for Deaf and Blind, and she spends every Jamboree with us, and we appreciate her for being here with us. In general, I don't go into great depth in introducing the authors because part of their talk is about their path and their career. But I do want to draw your attention to John's website and his blog. Do any of you know what an anagram is? Okay. This is a test. What is the anagram of Britney Spears? Presbyterians! Presbyterians! Who would have thought? So John, with that introduction, I love you.
I was just looking up other anagrams for Britney Spears a couple days ago, but I have to say about the Britney Spears Presbyterians anagram, which is to me one of the most interesting facts in all of the world, but fans of Britney Spears will know that she spells her name in an extraordinarily unusual way. I mean, you very rarely see a Britney that's a B-R-I-T-N-E-Y. And it's so rare that one has to consider the idea that Britney Spears' mother knew that if she spelled Britney that way, it would anagram to Presbyterians, and that idea excited her so much that she made that choice. But I was very into this conspiracy theory of mine for a long time, and then I saw an interview with Britney Spears' mother, and I was forced to conclude that that is not likely. I want to begin just by acknowledging something, which is that there are, sort of broadly speaking, two groups of people in this room. There are people who are not nerd fighters, and there are people who are nerd fighters. And if you're not a nerd fighter and don't know what that means, then it's going to be extremely difficult for me to explain to you what it means, except to say that my brother and I keep a video blog, and have for 2007, and this is a puppy-sized elephant. All the people clapping are nerd fighters, and all the people who don't understand why I have a balloon puppy-sized elephant should go to nerdfighters.com and come to understand all of the awesome that is my brother and his amazing blog and my sort of mediocre work with it. So I'm going to give a talk today that I've never given before, which always works out horribly. But I'm just sort of starting to get out of my basement again after a year and a half in my basement writing my new novel that comes out in October. And, well, don't get excited yet, it could still be bad. But I want to, but this is a lot of the stuff that I've been thinking about over that last year and a half, about why I write and why I still think that writing is relevant, even in a world that is hyper-connected, in a world where technology is so dominant and so fascinating and offers us so many opportunities, why I still think that books with words printed on paper that tell stories that aren't true are still interesting. One other thing is that I want to leave a lot of time for questions, maybe more time than has been left by the other authors today. I want to do that because I know that it's awkward, because every time I'm in an audience and there's a question and answer session, there's the awkwardness of waiting for the hand to be raised and wondering whether or not the question is going to be awful or in some way going to make you uncomfortable, and will it go on too long, will the answer go on too long? There's a lot to be anxious about in a question and answer session, and I understand that because I've often been in the audience for one, but I also think that it's really our only chance at connectedness, at a sort of broad kind of connectedness, and where it's not just me talking. And I really like that. I'm a big fan of connectedness, which is pretty much what I'm going to talk about today. And so let's embrace the awkwardness when that time comes, and raise our hands as one. Also, one other thing to say at the outset is this. I have all of these unshakable and unwavering ideas about literature, and those unshakable and unwavering ideas change radically about every 6 weeks. So everything that I say is something that I've thought about in the last 6 weeks, and I believe it to be unassailably true. But the chances that I will continue to believe it to be true are very slim. And so I am happy to be proven wrong, and I'm very happy also to be told that what I think is silly. So those are the several preambles. I think that the connection between people is at the very core of writing. It's both what I write and it's why I write. I don't think this is an original observation, but in a number of ways, I think that writing for me is like playing a very long game of Marco Polo. I assume that you guys remember the pool game Marco Polo. You're from the South like I am, so I sit in my basement for a couple of years, and I'm sitting there in my lazy boy, typing and typing, and then I get up and I pace, and then I delete, and then I type, and that whole time I'm saying Marco. And then, a year after I stop saying Marco, I send the last revision to my publisher, I get that first email from a reader, Polo. And I think that desire to hear Polo to your Marco goes back a long way. I mean, for me, it goes back to elementary school. I spent much of elementary school literally friendless. A lot of people talk about how they struggled socially when they were kids, but for a lot of elementary school and some of middle school, I literally did not have any kind of peer relationships. And that was very difficult for me. Although I should note, I think that nerds have a tendency to kind of blame popular people for their inability to properly socialize. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, popular people are at fault. In many cases. I mean, popular people can be held accountable for a lot of things that are wrong with the world. But in my particular case, my nerdiness was my fault. Like, I was annoying, and I was obnoxious, and I was really gaudily precocious and very unlikable. And so I don't mean to cast aspersions upon my elementary school classmates when I say that I was friendless. It was in a sense my fault, but of course at the age of 8 I couldn't know any better. So I think now I'm going to show these two clips of Hank talking, and I think this will perhaps sort of elucidate some of my early writing career. Okay, we're going to start with this clip, which was from October 29th, 2007, and hopefully it's queued up to the right place.
The following is John Green's 5th book. It's called It Just Isn't Fair. It Just Isn't Fair by John Green. Wimp, I'm Alvin Loris. Of course you're Alvin Loris. Adorable. I'm pretty smart, but I'm a total nerd. I wear glasses and ugly clothes, and I am nicknamed Wimp. Wimp! Once I decided to be cool, I spent $200 on OPs, $50 on